నమస్కారం. నేను తమిశ్రా, చికాగో ఆంధ్ర అసోసియేషన్ ఈ సంవత్సరం బోర్డ్ మెంబర్. నేను ఈరోజు మన ఆల్ స్టేట్ ఆఫీస్ ఆసిమ్ హమీదీ గారు ఆఫీస్లో ఉన్నాను. హీ ఈజ్ వన్ ఆఫ్ అవర్ ప్లాటినం స్పాన్సరర్. సో ఈరోజు నేను వారి ఇంటర్వ్యూ తీసుకోవడానికి ఇక్కడికి వచ్చాను. సో లెట్స్ మీట్ హిమ్. నమస్తే, నేను మీ తమిశ్రా. మాతో పాటు ఉన్నారు అసీం హమీదీజీ. హీఈస్ ఫ్రమ్ ఆల్ స్టేట్. సో నమస్తే అసీంజీ, హౌ ఆర్ యూ?
Very well.
So should we start the interview?
Yes, go ahead please.
Okay. So we have few questions. సో ఇప్పుడు ఏంటంటే మన చికాగో ఆంధ్ర అసోసియేషన్లో చాలామంది మా మెంబర్స్, బోర్డ్ మెంబర్స్ అందరూ ఉన్నారు కదా. సో ఫ్యూ క్వశ్చన్స్ వీ హ్యావ్ which we want to ask you so that you can give a brief detail on it so that it will help them to understand what it is.
Absolutely. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have.
Thank you so much. So I would like you to answer the first one. So could you explain the difference between liability insurance versus full coverage for auto?
So I'll be happy to answer that question. Obviously, auto insurance is a must-have in US, and you cannot drive a vehicle without the liability insurance. That's the minimum requirement in US. When we use the term full insurance, it has many features, but the two main ones are collision and comprehensive. Collision is when you have an accident or you hit a vehicle or another property or person, that's a collision. When we say comprehensive have many coverages. For example, somebody stole your vehicle. Let's say your vehicle got in a water, in a flood, or got hit by an animal. So those are the main differences, and you should consider those based on the type of vehicle. You don't necessarily have to have a full insurance for older vehicle with high mileage, but the vehicle have a expensive new vehicle, we suggest you should have both collision and comprehensive. But when we use the term full coverage, it goes beyond collision and comprehensive. That means you also have to have something called medical payment, you have to have rental car reimbursement, and you also have to have a roadside assistance. Those are kind of optional, but you should consider them.
Thank you, Asimji. Thank you, Asimji. You really described it very well, and I think it will help all our members. So if you want any other more questions or any more details on it, Asimji is here to help you. And so I'm moving forward to the next question. So Asimji, so I'm asking you the next question. So what coverages should I select when purchasing a homeowner's policy?
So when you're considering buying a homeowner's insurance, the term homeowner's insurance mostly applied if you're buying a insurance for single family home. But in big scheme of things, we also include if you have a townhome. If you have a townhome, sometimes you need a coverage that only provides coverage for the inside of your belonging and your property in that townhome, and that is called HO6 policy. But in some recent years, some of the homeowners associations are asking for both the inside and outside coverage. So it's very similar to what you have for single family home, and that's called HO3. And one little last one, when we use term home, you could be renting a home, a single family home, a townhome, or maybe an apartment, and then we provide a renter's insurance. So the renter's insurance is mostly to protect the landlord and his or her property and some of your belongings. So those have less coverages. Then when you go to homeowner's policy, one of the big coverage you should select, it's called wind and hail, and that could be most common claim we see in Chicago area, because we do get a lot of storms and tornadoes and hail, and that's where your roof can be damaged, your siding can be damaged, so make sure you have those coverages. And also everything you have inside your house and outside your house should be covered. There are many other coverages within that, but one key coverage comes to mind is called water and sewer backup coverage. Those are optional coverages, but you should select them if you have a basement, and especially if it's a finished basement. Finished basement, again, liability, optional coverage, but you should consider selecting that. And again, liability coverage in homeowners policy is also very important, because sometimes people don't realize that if you have a handyman or contractor come and work at your home, they might get hurt and claim that it was caused by your neglect. Same thing, there is something called guest medical coverage. If you have a guest at home and somehow they slip and fall, they might get injured or hurt, so they can sue you for damages. They can also ask you to pay their medical bills. So those coverages come in play. One is liability and the other one is guest medical coverage. And obviously if you have more questions, want more detail, I'll be happy to address that if you contact me individually.
Thank you, Asim ji. You really opened our eyes. I think for all the homeowners from our members from Chicago Andhra Association who are not aware of the insurance, please watch this video and get detailed information, and please reach out to Asim ji and he is going to help you. And thank you, and I also got a lot of knowledge about what is the difference in the homeowners policy and the liabilities and guest insurance and all. Thank you so much. So I request all the members of Chicago Andhra Association who have not taken the homeowners policy and they own a house or even they are renting a house, please try to watch this video, and this is really very much important for all of you. And he has really very well explained about the liabilities and the guest insurance. So Asim ji, on this I want to ask you a specific question. So is there any kind of insurance apart from these insurance which is like basically and particularly which will help our community, particularly our community which is designed, something like that?
Sure. And as you know, I'm part of your community, so I know one comes to mind is coverage for your gold and jewelry or any precious item that you have at home. Typical families in our community would have significant amount of gold and jewelry during the holidays and wedding season. For that, most insurance companies, their basic homeowners policy would have a limited coverage for those items unless you purchase something called scheduled personal property coverage, and it will be specific to the item you want to insure. So let's say you have a engagement ring that have a diamond, or you have a necklace that is 20,000 or 50,000. It may not be covered under the basic policy unless you purchase this additional scheduled personal property coverage. And rule of thumb is if the item is around 10,000 in coverage, you're mostly looking at $100 per year premium. But in order for us to ensure that, we need either appraisal of that item or receipt with the picture of the item, so we can put that in our record and give you insurance and tell you what would be the premium.
Okay. Thank you so much. You have explained it so well. And do you want to put a shadow on like if we have to keep our jewelry in the safe deposit or at home? So anything on that, or you want to give the details later when someone from our members want to reach out to you?
Yeah, sure. I can briefly answer that. So a lot of the questions when we ask insuring these precious items of gold or jewelry, we do ask, is this going to be in a safe, either at home or bank? And when we ask questions related to SAFE, there are categories that, in terms of sizes, but the two main ones are they built into your wall or home vault, or is it portable? So based on those questions and information, your premium could vary, and also coverage could also vary.
Oh, thank you so much. సో మనందరికీ జ్యువెలరీస్ తప్పకుండా ఉంటాయి కదండి. సో ఇది మనం చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్. మనం ఇది ఎలాగైనా తీసుకోవాలి ఇన్సూరెన్స్ విచ్ విల్ హెల్ప్ ఆల్ ద ఫ్యామిలీస్ అండ్ ఇట్ విల్ ప్రొటెక్ట్ అస్. సో నౌ లెట్స్ గో టు ద నెక్స్ట్ క్వశ్చన్.
Sure.
Okay. So I think you are good, right?
Yeah.
So how do I decide the level of deductible to choose?
Okay, that's a very good question, especially nowadays. The rates are getting high. So the way you should think about any insurance is, I would say hardly any insurance would cover you 100%. And you should always remember that these are coverages, may have exclusions and limitations. So when it comes to deductible, you should choose a deductible that you can afford yourself. Let's say you buy a $100,000 BMW or $50,000 any other car. Would you be able to pay for any small dent or scratch that may be a $500 or $1,000? Because two things happen. When you have deductibles, they would collect that regardless of how big or small your claim. So if your claim itself is $1,000 and your deductible is $1,000, I would suggest, you talk to us, we can guide you through that. Same thing with homeowners. Selecting higher deductibles would help you lower the premium, because majority of the time you're not going to file claims for 5, 10, even I have a customer with 15, 20 years, they have no claims. So this way you're saving a lot of money on premium. Some people keep it higher because they take care of their homes on going basis. They small repair, any small damage due to any weather related event, they will fix it themselves. So that's a question we can always discuss on an individual basis. But the rule of thumb is, higher the deductible, the better the premium. Lower the deductible, higher the premium. So that's the main thing.
Okay, very well explained. So let's go to the next question.
Sure.
Okay. So why are auto and home insurance rates rising across the board?
This is coming up in a lot of our conversation with our customers, current customers, new customer we are trying to sell. And since the pandemic, things have changed in our industry that is putting a lot of pressure on insurance companies, and most of them are obviously businesses and they look for profit at the end of the year. For example, repair for cars are now 2 to 3 times higher due to various reasons. One being the cost of repairing any body of the car is double because of the lack of parts, higher wages, and most cars now are more high-tech than before. Every car have like 3-4 sensors on the bumpers. They have radars, they got motion detectors, blind spot, and these things in the past, a small fender bender could have cost you to fix for $1,000. Same fender bender may go $3,000 to $4,000. So that's why the premiums are going up. Same thing with home. Home premiums are going up because we have a flurry of weather-related claims in the last 5 years. The rate of weather-related claims have gone up significantly, and the insurance company have finally decided they will now appropriately charge premium to cover for their losses.
Okay, it's like so deep.
Yes, so it's a bigger question to ask, but it's happening all across
Yes.
the industry. it's a valid question. I don't want to diminish that people's concern, but if you give us a call, we can definitely work with you to design your policy and coverage that is going to fit your budget or what the premium you're looking for. And it's better to discuss all the detail with us so you can decide which coverage you think you can cover, take that risk on your own, and which you want the insurance company to cover.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's a topic that's coming up quite a bit in our
As
recent conversations.
all the things are changing, the prices are increasing.
Yes.
I totally understand. Yeah. So I hope all these things are helping you all, and we are moving to the next question. So I'm going to ask.
Go ahead.
How do I know when I should file a claim?
Claims are always a hard thing because if you have an accident, it's a hassle in a way. You might have been hurt, other party could have been hurt. So filing a claim is different with different companies. One rule of thumb is call your agent first so they can guide you through the process, because sometimes it may not be your fault. If it's not your fault, you have an option to go with the insurance company that's covering the other party who hit you. So maybe you want to start there first. If it's related to your property, let's say you're trying to file for damages to your home, most common one are always going to be related to weather, which is hail and windstorms. In Chicago area, another common claim is frozen pipes, ice buildup on the roof, but those are also dependent on how it happened and when it happened.
Okay.
I want to give one example which is more specific to our community. Sometime we go for longer vacation back home to India, let's say, right? And we left our home vacant for, let's say, more than 30 days.
Yes.
Your claim might be denied if the home was vacant for more than 30 days.
Oh.
So we can definitely provide more feedback and insight what to do to avoid that situation. Make sure your temperature dials are properly adjusted. Make sure they have a little drip on one of the tap water so it's not freezing the pipe when it gets like below zero. Sometimes Chicago get minus 10 or 20. So there are a lot of things you should consider before you go on vacation or extended vacation.
Okay.
But again, the most common one are weather related. As I said when I answered your previous question about what coverages you select, one of them was water backup. So people have basement, their finished basement, you have carpets, furniture, and if your sump pump did not work, you would have thousands of dollars loss on your hand. And those are limited coverages, so talk to us before filing those claims and we can help you with all the details and how to file a claim.
Okay. So yeah, this is another very good point we have to remember, because we people go a lot to vacations, and we go to India to meet our family and friends. So we have to make sure we have to follow these rules. And thank you again.
No problem.
So you're really opening all our eyes. So I'm going for the next question. Why should I choose Allstate insurance versus other companies?
Well, that's a very easy question to answer for me. With Allstate, you get me. So if you ever need insurance,
Sure.
you just come to me, call my office, and we will take care of that. And we try to provide very personable service. We are not only available 24/7 through Allstate direct corporate phone. Our offices are, always trying to provide personal touch. Most of my customers have my direct cell phone number. In case of emergency, you can always contact me. But just to answer your question, you have hundreds of insurance companies and you have good choices. So we are not the only company in town. But what we try to highlight with companies like Allstate and maybe State Farm or other companies that have a dedicated insurance agent that assigned to you is a big advantage to you. If you compare us with the online company, they would force you to do everything yourself, every little service. If you have to have questions on billing, if you need a insurance ID card, anything you need. Let's say you want to add your young driver. Most of us have teenagers.
Yes.
Either they were just added to your policy or will be adding to your policy, and it can increase your rate by 2 or 3 times. When you have a dedicated insurance agent, they can give you advice as their friend and family member. Besides that, Allstate, if you look at the over total all number type of policies we offer, Allstate is one of the largest companies in US, and we have experience over 90 years. My agency, myself, my family is in the business for about 30 years in Chicago market. I am with Allstate around 10 years. We definitely encourage people to get insurance from agency that have dedicated agent specific to your policy. Again, as I said, you have hundreds of choices. Allstate would have a lot less exclusions versus the companies that you buy online. And a lot of time when you buy online, you don't know what coverage you should select and why should you select that coverage. So this is where Allstate can be a big advantage.
So it's as he said, he is available for us anytime. So we have to come to Asimji only. We really appreciate and thank you for giving all your time. So and I have just few questions left.
Okay.
Okay. So moving to the next question. Can you please explain what an umbrella policy is?
I would be happy to explain that because so many people ask that question. Umbrella policy is literally what you envision what umbrella is. Umbrella is covering you, in time of rain, right?
Yes.
So umbrella policy is a additional coverage that we provide when you buy auto insurance or home insurance from us.
Okay.
The umbrella policy, the 2 major categories are personal umbrella or commercial umbrella. Personal umbrella is for people like you, me, if you have home, we have families, several drivers are driving our cars, we have homes, so sometimes we get in an accident where we are held accountable for losses we incurred due to our mistake to other drivers.
Okay.
And insurance policy will cover what's written on your liability coverage. Let's say it's $100,000 coverage on your auto policy, but unfortunately somebody got severely hurt or maybe died, and their families are suing you for $1 million or $2 million. Insurance company is only going to provide the amount that's listed on your auto policy, nothing above that. So let's say you have a house that's $1 million house or $500,000, or you have a big job like 6-figure salaries, and your future and current income can be garnished. The lawyers can put lien against your home because they would get that money out of you one way or the other if they feel that you have that kind of assets and income. So those are the policies. Umbrella policy covers you when the liability coverage is exhausted on your home policy or auto policy, and then umbrella policy covers you for $1 million or $2 million or even higher amount in case of lawsuits. And when we say umbrella, so not only we cover auto and home, we can also cover certain areas where you may not have a policy for those areas, and so it's for extended liability coverage and any gaps you may have in different exposure you might have.
Oh, okay.
And same with go for commercial. So when I say commercial umbrella policy, so I just want to highlight one item. If you're sued on your business side, your personal umbrella policy will not cover you,
Oh, okay.
and vice versa. So if you have umbrella policy, personal umbrella policy, and you have businesses that you never purchase any general liability or commercial umbrella policy, your personal umbrella policy would not extend coverage to your businesses.
Oh, okay.
And,
Yeah, it's
and,
very good.
and what I would suggest, anybody have additional questions about these
Yes.
topics and questions? We can only explain just the basic here, but I would love to, answer specific questions with your individual needs.
Yeah, no, you have briefly gave the main points because as you said, umbrella is going to cover the whole thing. So yeah, the name only
Yes,
justifies.
it's exactly
Yes.
like that.
Yeah. So now moving to the next question. So it's the last question.
Okay.
So it's last question from me, but we will have our members who are going to come to you, and you will get many more questions.
Sure.
Yes. So do you offer life insurance at your agency?
Yes, so Allstate is one of the companies. They do all kinds of insurance. And when I say all kinds, of course, there's some areas we don't, but majority of your personal needs, we do from life insurance, and life insurance could be term life insurance, permanent life insurance, universal life, whole life. We also do financial services. We have a dedicated person. Their job is to only help my customer do financial planning, plus if they have a need for insurance. One of the things I wanted to highlight here is because some of you may have parents at home that are living with you now, and there is something called long-term health care, and these policies you can purchase, and it can help your parents if they don't have a coverage from Medicaid or Medicare, and for yourself as well. So people are living longer, people in 80s and 90s are still doing well, but some of these policies can help you past your retirement age and when you're in your 80s and 90s. I will be happy to help any community member if they have questions and need any guidance. We do, as I said, many things, and one of them I want to highlight. We also help our customer to do planning for their kids' college educations. So if you have questions, you have teenagers, you're looking to fund some of their tuitions, we can guide you there as well.
Oh, thank you so much, Simji. So you have covered from each and every small tit and bit detailed way. I expect all our members, మీ అందరికీ చాలా బాగా డీటెయిల్డ్గా బట్ వెరీ షార్ట్గా you got all the information అండి. సో మీకు ఏదైనా questions, anything you need, Asimji 24/7 he is available, and he can give his personal contact number, and you can reach out to him. You can schedule an appointment. Please reach out to him. He is our platinum sponsorer, and he gave his precious time, and he is with us. Thank you so much, Asimji, and I'll be happy to add or tell you like our members, if they have any questions or any feedback or any thing they want to ask and they're hesitating or something, we can show this video, and we can direct to you, so you can help them.
Absolutely, and just not forget, we have a star team member who can speak in your language as well. Her name is Vani Gola.
Yes, so our own Vani Gola ji, she is also working with Asimji. She's very sweet, and she is also going to help us anytime. So thank you. Thank you, Asimji.
Thank you.
Namaskaram.
Thank you for coming. Appreciate your time.
నమస్కారం అండి అందరికీ. నేను శ్వేత కొత్తపల్లి. మనకి ఇక్కడ అసీంజీ ఆఫీస్లో అసీం గారిని కలవడం చాలా ఆనందంగా ఉంది. We got all the questions answered, and Asimji, he has been supporting Chicago Andhra Association since we started Chicago Andhra Association, and he has been very enthusiastic. Whenever I say like sports event undi manaki annappudu, he is ready to help, and he is like giving the trophies for the chess competition also, and he is our platinum sponsor. Thank you so much, Asim ji, for helping in each and every part of our events. And he will ask what's the next event, how can I jump in and help you guys. That is for all the non-profitable organizations. The sponsors are the main people who were because of you only, because we have only few memberships coming up. Because of the sponsorships only, the organizations are building up in such a good way. Thank you so much, Asim ji, for always helping the organizations and our people. Because of these questions, now people are aware of all the answers, and we would be reaching you for all the requirements. Thank you so much, Asim ji.
No problem, and I also thank not only the volunteers and the office bearers, anybody who's helping CEA. I appreciate their time and effort, and we would do our best to support our own community anytime we are able to do that.
Thank you so much.
Asim.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.